Welcome to Marketing from X to Z.
The podcast specifically created for small business owners who want practical marketing advice without the hype.
We're your hosts. This is Mike Albuquerque representing Gen X.
And this is Liz Bachmann, our resident Gen Zer.
We're here to share honest insights, real-world experiences,
and tangible strategies to help your small business thrive.
Hey, Mike, do you want to start a podcast?
Let's do it. Welcome back, everyone. Episode 9. Liz, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about money.
All right, let's talk about money.
We're talking about marketing budgets and how money should be used in your marketing.
I think today's going to be a good one if you are starting a business or if you're at the stage of your business where you haven't grown yet and you might not have the biggest marketing budget. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about some ways to stretch that dollar.
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Well, hey, let's get into it. Why do you think that small business owners think that they need to have a big budget to spend in marketing?
I don't think we talk enough about how much money marketing costs. And then when we do talk about it, we're often using case studies or examples that are these gigantic brands because that's what most people have seen on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. And so there's not a good concept of what small business marketing actually looks like in the beginning.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, it makes sense, right? With everything, we're looking at where the benchmark is set.
Yeah.
And depending on, when you see things like, oh, look at that brand has their company has an ad on a billboard, mm-hmm. right? That was, or they have, a nicely produced video that's running on their socials or that's on the header of their website or whatnot. There's some things that I think just drive us to think that, well, this costs money.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you've ever asked a videography company for a quote, I mean, you're gonna realize pretty quickly that when you have the highly produced stuff and you have the things that we see the most of because they have the largest share of voice because they're the larger companies that spend more money, mm-hmm. you're gonna think that that's the requirement. And honestly, that's not really the case. A lot of small businesses, it's really great to watch them grow into themselves and it creates brand loyalty and all of that. So it's not necessarily do not compare your first 6 months, first year, first 5 years to a company that's been in business for half a decade.
Yeah.
Or no, for a decade, not half a decade. That would be 5 years. That's how time works. But you know what I mean? Like the established companies, the larger, the more corporate, the funded ones are, mm-hmm. it's apples and oranges. It's not apples to apples.
Yeah. And I think, too, there's a reason why America isn't just corporations, why we have, a thriving environment for small businesses with ebbs and flows. But, you can fight Goliath. There are ways for small businesses to stand out. Oh,
absolutely. There are things that small businesses can do that big companies cannot. And there's also, it's like turning a yacht versus turning a speedboat as far as being able to be at the cutting edge of certain things.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So I'm looking forward to this one. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's get started with some small budget marketing tactics. Now, do you think with a smaller budget, you can develop some strategies for marketing that can yield results, or do you need to have a lot of money? You need to pour money into marketing?
I feel like that would be a very weird way if I thought that for us to have this episode at all. Don't
get too meta.
if I thought we couldn't. But yeah, no, there are definitely there are definitely marketing tactics for small businesses that can be extraordinarily effective. You don't have to spend an astronomical amount of money to see results. Mm-hmm. Now, do we go into those now or do we do that later?
Hey, I'd say let's dive into some of our favorite ones.
Okay. Well, you'll never guess what one of my favorite ones is.
Huh.
All right, so let's talk about using organic social before mm-hmm. you're in a place to hire a management company.
Perfect.
Okay, so hiring for social media management is often what businesses want to do because social media takes a lot of time. All right, and it's a thing. It takes time. We talked in the last couple of episodes actually about how to make that more efficient, but it does take time and energy. However, it doesn't directly cost money. Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at showing up on social, one of my favorite strategies for low budget businesses that are getting started is to show us the journey. Document it messy.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like, show me a day in the life that was shot with your cell phone without perfect lighting and explain to me why this is important. Set a goal and try to reach it and document that goal, because what you're going to do is you're going to develop a fan base that really cares about you. And that will last even past when you're out of that scrappy, like guerrilla marketing stage of your business. That loyalty of watching you build something and beginning to watch you build something is going to stay the test of time.
That's a great point. And I think we're at the point in terms of like society and technology and everything where we have, I don't want to say everything that we need, but we have a lot of what we need to get started with those strategies, just usually in our pockets.
Yeah, I mean, you do need a smartphone. That is, and one with a better than average camera, ideally, because just making it to where it is catching enough. And clean your camera, clean your phone camera before you shoot, please, 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 please.
Right
clean
here, right here.
It just honestly start there.
Yeah.
A lot of the low quality videos that you see is actually face gook on a screen, but that's a whole other conversation and pet peeve of mine. But yeah, like we do have a lot of the things you need. Like you do not need a fancy microphone. You do not need fancy computer editing software or high-end editing skills when you first get started. You can build those as you go. And as long as you're honest with what you're building and bringing people in, people eat that up. People love that. They love being brought along for something being built, something they can truly care about. I mean, it's awesome to watch companies go from like, that's why like you see a lot of those like small artists on TikTok that go viral. A lot of the times, and virality is not a marketing goal, but but a lot of the times that what you see with that is you're watching a small creator put the effort in. You're watching them collect the materials, create the thing, and then show it. And it's this thing where we get emotionally invested. And I mean, people support based on emotions and justify based on fact. So I think that's why that works in the beginning.
Yeah. I think being a part of a journey, it just provides you with like a look behind the scenes, which we all love, right? It allows you to become involved with the company, or rather with the entrepreneur itself, right? Which is like a deeper level of connection.
Yeah.
That you now have. So you're getting started from a very positive point.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When I think about the videos that have done well, like for me and for like my personal brand as an entrepreneur, the ones that, okay, so these actually didn't like take off and get a huge amount of views to start with or anything like that. And most videos don't. Realistic expectations, y'all. Most videos don't. But they were the ones where I showed something a little bit messy and explained why it mattered. So even like I'm doing something right now, and I know that this is going to be published later, but as we're shooting, the one thing that's going on with me is I've got foster dogs. I had a temp foster fall through, and I needed help for my community. I straight up made a video on my couch holding the dog where she was basically headbutting me as I was speaking about her in this video, telling them why it mattered and what I needed. And because I have been building, I have been showing her story throughout this entire, like the 3 months I've had her, people were ready to help me. And the same thing applies for business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right, I want to bring us back here to some tactics, and especially a couple of other ideas in my realm of things.
Go for it.
I think there's a spot when you start your business, or maybe the spot where businesses kind of land, where there are things that are must-haves and things that are nice to have.
Yeah, that's very real.
And it's important to make that distinction, and it's important just to kind of be aware, right, of when are you going to overextend, when are you going to find something that is that Goldilocks, right? It's just right. They're, like you mentioned with social, right? The platforms out there are free, right? Instagram's not charging us yet for a personal or business profile. Those are still free.
Yes.
It's a little bit tougher to find that with the website.
Yes. Because
you're paying for hosting. It doesn't matter where, right? You're paying for a domain, you're paying for hosting. So there's some costs, but they can be small costs. And for a lot of businesses, being a website agency, But let me put this out there. If you're at the starting point where you're not sure if the business is taking off or not, you can start by building a site yourself, using some of the tips that we give here and doing a little bit of search online, leveraging a platform that you can understand, and put something together that can at least give your business some legitimacy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I would encourage you to think of your website a little bit as, here in America, we typically see people like moving up in houses, right? You kind of start maybe in a smaller home, and you might move to a bigger one. You might move to a smaller one, depending on what your needs are. You go from the country to the city or whatever it is to the burbs eventually.
Sure.
But find a house that fits your needs. Right. And that's what your website can be. So you can start with something that is DIY done until your business is at the point where you do need something that is going to position you a little bit better to, go up against bigger companies or to reach a wider audience. And then you hire an agency to come build. And again, finding one that fits your budget. But I think, having something up there can have a big impact. Another free tool that you can use is the website before your website, which is Google Business Profile.
Yeah.
It's what most people are going to see if they search a company.
Yep.
And that is still free as of today.
And you can also establish a Facebook page for that. A lot of smaller businesses do that as well. Like have them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great. Facebook and Google are probably the 1-2 combo there of what you want to have. Right. And you can do, like with Google, you can build that profile for free and you can add some photos, you can add some details for your company, and you can put your address in if you have one, and you can make it findable so that people, when they search for it, they'll find it. And yes, there might come a point where your business is growing, and then you get to hire a professional to go and optimize it and build it out and, just make it really stand out, make sure it shows up in the map pack. But you can get the basics done yourself for free, right?
Yeah.
With a little bit of elbow grease, you can flip that house.
I'm realizing as I'm listening about the house metaphor, that's very Gen X of you to think everybody buys a house and steps up through that.
What's this buy you speak of?
But you are completely right. Like starting in the place where starting with your starter set and then building as you grow is something that's completely the way you have to do this. Like a lot of the times it helps you stretch that dollar and it helps you move forward. And then you get to a point where basically your time is worth more than what you would spend on doing the activities, and you're ready to grow. And so you end up putting like a CEO cap on and being like, okay, so I need this time back in order to grow the business and do more money generating activities. And so it is now time for me to hand that off to somebody else so that I'm not spending my valuable time doing something that I am not an expert in, that takes up way more and maybe is a little bit less effective, and growing into that. But there are places for each of those moves.
Yeah. And the analysis I like using, or the comparison rather, that I like using for that is it's like mowing your own lawn. I'm going back to the house. I keep going back to the house, Liz. I'm sorry.
It's okay. This is why it's X to Z.
She'll translate into like iPhones or something.
Oh, okay.
It's your Genmoji.
That's more A at this point, but that's a whole other conversation.
I'll compare it to mowing your lawn, right? You get that house, you start mowing your lawn. You get the lawn mower, and you go there first off every couple of weeks until summer gets in, and you're doing it every week. And after a few years, you might get to the point where you say, yeah, this is not worth my time.
Oh, no.
I'm going to try to get a raise, or I'm going to try to do a little bit more sales so that I can pay someone to do this. Yeah. Right. Because the amount of time that I'm putting into it is costing me more than it's worth.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
It's totally fine for some of us to continue to mow our lawns, but it's also, there might come a time where you say, it's not exactly what I'm looking for with my business. I want to spend time doing other things.
Yeah, and as a younger business, I recently went through that, right? Like it was a year and a half ago that you built my site, I think it was.
That's about right.
Yeah, so I am coming up on year 4 of being in business, right? And I originally built my own in a website builder that was like literally attached to some sort of like registry, which was a mess, by the way. That was, I could have picked a better option to host that on, but
Wix. It could have been Wix.
You trying to redeem yourself with Wix?
Sponsor us, Wix. We'll put your logo right here.
Just don't listen to episode 1, Wix.
It'll be the banned episode. Only the OGs will know.
Regardless of that chaos. No. So I built out my own, and it was fine. Mm-hmm. It was sufficient for where I was. And then once I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm actually getting more traction, getting regular business and that sort of stuff, that's when I started pursuing somebody who had more skills than I did in that to take that off of my plate. Yeah. So it's something that like is not very far removed from me right now. Yeah. And it's part of a journey. That's part of being in that journey. And there's a lot of different realizations that as business owners we come to, not even related to marketing, right? But other things where it's like, hey, I should hire someone to, do my books.
Do my books. Gosh. You can do that one before marketing. That one's an important one.
Yeah, please. Yeah. If you're not good with numbers, that is do that. Okay. What is a big misconception around marketing strategies, about cheap marketing strategies?
I think there's this idea that if you go and spend a lot of money that you're going to get better results, which, I mean, I don't think that's true every time. No. I think it can be with certain things, but I think that's where like strategy and specific tactics come in. Like if you work with, if you do it yourself, you're limited by your knowledge and expertise, right? Which is totally fine. And it'll get you can still get results if you're well educated on things. You can, get results. YouTube University. I mean, it's there. It's one way or another, right? There's courses out there that you can take. So I think there's a matter of like, where do you want to land on that scale? Do you want to be the person who is figuring out how to do the marketing for your business? And that's going to be, you're going to wear the CEO and the CMO hat and do that and hire for the other parts. Are you doing everything because you're just starting? Or, do you want to delegate that out? Right. And if you delegate, there's different sizes of agencies and of contractors that you can hire. And if you're looking at a contractor specifically, if you hire someone who's used to working with the budgets of your size, then they're going to know the tactics to maximize the return on investment there, to make sure that the money that you're spending is well spent. Yeah,
it's definitely somebody who spends on a brand awareness ad X amount of money is probably going to get more eyeballs than somebody who spends a lesser amount of money. That is typically true. And when you are efficient with it and you are strategic with it, when you're used to doing this guerrilla or like duct tape style marketing where it's like we are doing specific things to generate specific results instead of a lot of the more traditional agencies, they work in a certain volume so that they do get results. Small business marketing is a little bit different because you can't do all the things and you frankly shouldn't until you're in a place where it makes sense. Yeah. So it's definitely not that you can't.
Yeah. I mean, I've worked in the larger agencies and I've worked in medium-sized agencies and I have my own small agency now. And it is very different just, what the environment, what the tasks performed are, who's got ownership over what, and how you're even engaging with the business. No. And it's not that one is better than another, but you just got to find like what fits. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you think about, because you have this experience where you've worked in different size agencies with different size companies, for small businesses, what should they prioritize in their marketing?
I think, oddly enough, strategy. Because if you're going to spend any money on something, spend it on strategy, because I think that's the hardest piece to learn yourself as a business owner, and that is going to inform everything else you do. Yeah. Right. So you can learn how to automate emails on MailChimp. You can find a video that teaches you that. Right. And that is a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can find videos teaching you how to build a website. What should be in that email, what should be in the website, what should be in the social media post, who should it be targeting, all that. That's a little bit harder to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because it's not a how to do something. It's almost a how to think about something, which is a different type of skill.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. That's why I like doing consulting for small businesses and things like that, because they can execute. They can figure out how to use Canva.
Mm-hmm.
They can figure out how to use Metricool.
Yeah.
Right. But figuring out what to create and how to apply their business objectives to what they're creating, that's a slightly different skill set.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it takes, and it's always evolving as well.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, is your job as a business owner now going to be staying on top of trends, being aware of new tools, and understanding, how audience mindsets are shifting? No, right. You got a business to run.
Yeah, you do. You have a finite amount of time in a day. So that's why it's important to graduate into different stages of doing and taking ownership over your marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about an affordable marketing tactic that you've seen do well?
Gosh, I feel like I mention this every time, but email. Right. I mean, emails, like, I think
our marketing's going to have like a meme of you holding like a heart with the word email. Just
how would you visually represent an email with an icon?
Probably like an envelope.
An envelope?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most likely. I mean, that's what my Gmail thing looks like on my phone.
What about the @ symbol? Do you think of that as representing email?
No.
That's a weird sidebar. Okay, I think this might be a not a generational thing, but maybe a Brazilian versus American thing.
Well, I mean, is it because you're thinking about like AOL?
No.
Okay. My mom used AOL.
Okay.
But she's a boomer.
No, because it always trips my wife when my sister mentions, like, send me something to my @ and puts the @ symbol. And she's like, she means email, right?
That's the front of a social media handle.
Yeah. You mean the pound sign? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I broke Liz.
What?
It's not the pound sign, it's the hashtag. I know that, okay?
That was not my problem with it.
Oh, no.
Okay, moving on. For affordable tactics.
I was talking about emails. So
you were talking about
emails.
emails.
If I finish up the emails?
Yeah, please talk about emails.
All right, talk about emails. So here's something that I think everyone should have. Build out at least a short little workflow on a tool like MailChimp or Constant Contact or wherever you're sending email from, with at least 4 emails that you can be sending to people once they become a lead, so that you can, kind of follow up with them once they become a client, and then just a couple more to follow up and touch base with them, so that you at least have a starting point of a little onboarding workflow. I think that's low-hanging fruit that everyone can do. And you can do it for free, I think, on MailChimp still.
I don't know.
I think MailChimp is still free.
MailChimp has a free plan. I think I'm on like their 20 a month or something like that. So I don't really remember what's on the free plan.
Yeah, I want you to get fancy with like audiences, and not fancy, but go beyond the basic.
Yeah. So
they can build a free account with, a couple of emails.
Oh, you can absolutely do it with MailerLite. I do know you can do it with MailerLite.
Okay.
Because that was what I used when I was first starting and did not have the spend to even do the $20 a month thing. I used MailerLite because it allowed me to do some segmentation for free, and it let me set up some of the automation stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's one tactic I would recommend. Definitely start doing something with email marketing. If you can make the effort to write a newsletter, which I don't, but
yeah, I'm bad about it too.
It's a way to stay in touch with people.
Yeah. No, that
if you can train them to open your emails, providing enough value in there, then there'll come the time when you can do the ask and start marketing to them there.
What's a good open rate for email?
So I think the industry standard is 15 to 20%.
Seriously?
Yeah. So you can just blow that out of the water if you have a clean list.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. Yeah. My client that I'm doing email marketing for, we've got a 39% open rate.
Nice. Yeah. That's great.
I'm very excited about that. Okay, cool. Yeah. Sorry, total sidebar. Okay. What about popular marketing tactics business overspend on without realizing? Oh, I have thoughts on that.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So often we overspend on a few things that are more vanity oriented, right? So people do purchase social media management before they should, before it makes sense. And they will spend way too much money on brand shoots and video shoots and stuff like that before they are ready. It's not that they don't have a place for that. That is a step in the journey, but we like the way it looks. And so we spend it before it's smart.
Yeah.
So I see that a lot. The other thing is, I didn't run meta advertising for clients up until the beginning of this year. And the reason I didn't do that is because small businesses have the tendency to try to fix strategy problems and a lack of understanding of an audience, like Band-Aid solution, with ad spend, instead of fixing the underlying strategy and organic issues, which ad spend definitely helps. And like, I mean, it's a huge deal. Like, it's a game changer. But if you don't have the strategy piece in place and you start doing like meta advertising, you are going to pay so much more per click and so much more per conversion than you actually need to, because you're using it to Band-Aid over a problem instead of fixing the problem. So those are my two spaces that I see it in.
Yeah, I think that like there's a lot of overspending in traditional marketing as well. Because like I think there's a generational thought on, like, I grew up with this type of media, so it's more it has always yielded results. It'll continue to yield results, and I don't think that's necessarily true. I think if you're a small business, you can get a lot higher ROI with digital marketing.
Yeah.
And then I think that there's still a place for traditional media, but it's almost you need to be able to grow into that space, because your brand needs to be recognized enough to where that's something that's plussing the brand. It's not what's driving it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What do you think about like print advertising with like those magazines that get distributed to specific neighborhoods and things of that nature? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I do. I mean, I don't have very informed thoughts. I have the thought of someone who receives those magazines.
You get
and
tired
I can tell you exactly what happens to them. They go from the mailbox to the recycling bin.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I know we have some friends in that space. But like, as a consumer, it's not me. Right. And so I think it might be a generational thing. Maybe I'm the young one in this scenario. Liz is here opening every little mailer they sent her. No.
No, Liz forgets to check her mailbox for weeks at a time, actually. So, because if you didn't send it to me in email and you didn't give me a phone call, it's probably not that important. It's how my brain thinks about it.
That's fair. I think I would think that the ones that are is specific to an industry would perform better.
Yeah.
Because if I'm opening up a magazine that is all about, like, things to improve my home, because I'm wondering, I wonder how much a pool costs to put in my backyard, which companies are putting, then yes, you're more likely to see that work, versus like just a purely local publications.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if I were to, like, what I've seen, I can actually speak a little bit to this. What I've seen yield higher results for clients are just do direct mail. Do the thing where, like, when someone is picking it up on the way to the recycling bin, you can entice them with messaging or with an offer, but
Gotcha.
You're not in the middle of the magazine.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
You need to have you need to have a strategy around it. So it's not as easy as just sending an ad to a magazine.
No.
You got to figure out which neighborhoods you're going to distribute to, get a designer to create something that's going to match what the post office allows to be sent out.
Yep.
But I think you'll see better results that way.
Okay, very cool. I've had clients ask about it a lot recently, which I'm like, I do social media. I'm like the exact opposite of direct mailing. But yeah, I think I kind of agree with you, like the neighborhood specific stuff. And if I so I live in like Brookhaven, right? So I actually will, when I'm standing at the mailbox, when I remember to go to the mailbox, I will open the one like for Brookhaven, and I'll flip through to see if I see any events or anything like that. And like if I see a coupon that just like stands out to me for like a restaurant I might go to, I might tear that out before I but it never even makes it into my house. But I do the peruse piece. So like I don't know if that's normal for us or not, but that would be how I kind of deal with that.
Okay.
And part of it's just because I get so much stuff from credit cards, like so many people trying to get me to open credit cards that I just like, it's put a bad taste in my mouth for everything else. So
Have you ever thrown anything out that was actually a legit mailer, like something, I don't know, your bank telling you something and you throw it away?
Mike, my bank there's a mobile app on my phone, and if they need something from me, they send me a push notification.
See, listen, I feel that way too. I've thrown things out that were coming, like the new credit card was coming in or something, and I have like started tearing it up until I realized that, oh, this one's actually legit.
All right, I have derailed us completely.
Yeah, we've gone
direct mail, but it is like it's often marketed as a cost-effective use of small business marketing, though. Like that is something that's why it's come to mind for me, is because it is something I see all the time. They talk about like, oh, it's only 15 cents per whatever, and so that is why I was thinking of it.
If I were thinking of like strategies that you should do as a small business, bootstrapped, early on, no big budgets. Gosh, that would be at the very tail end.
Yeah.
Anything traditional would be at the very tail end. I would start. I would start. Probably with like social, Google Business, email.
Yeah.
And then go from. I mean, even a logo. We talked a little bit about logos before. You don't need a logo to start your business. You can always create a logo or hire an agency to create a logo later on. Mm-hmm. There are businesses when they're just getting started, they're strapped for cash. I think it would benefit them just to wait.
Oh, I didn't even, this is awful, but I didn't even use a headshot. I used a photo that I took that had semi-good lighting that was not a crop of me with anybody else, and I put that on my business card without a logo before I had a logo.
Yeah, you can go find a nice font. Find a nice font and write your business name in that font. And that's okay. That's okay to get started. I mean, I think I in some ways, I feel like that's better than hiring someone who is super budget to develop a logo that is not going to be easily reproduced. It's not going to be set in the right colors. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be able to scale it, meaning shrink it to fit on little things. It's going to have too much detail, and that you're going to feel stuck with it.
Yeah.
Down the line, versus creating the excitement of saying, I built my business big enough that now I can afford to invest
in a logo,
which is a key part of your branding. It's not your brand. We talked about this, how your logo is not your brand, but it's an important part of it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So what do we think, like when we're looking at how to judge whether or not we're spending our limited marketing budget effectively, like how would you go about that?
So you got to know your goals, right? Are you looking for your marketing to be driving leads? Are you looking for customer conversions? Or are you looking for awareness? And if you know which one of those three you're going to want, you'll be able to measure a little bit better what you want, right? If you're looking for awareness, I mean, that's getting the name out. It's not necessarily getting more customers right now, but it's just getting everyone aware of your company, what it is, what it does. And, depending on what you're doing, you can measure that by views on a video, or, one of my favorites is it's not a metric, but hey, that looks familiar. Like I had someone the other day who was like, where have I seen that bear before? And I'm like, hopefully all over the place, but
yeah, no, I or like the people coming up to you saying, oh, I've been seeing your brand around, like that. Yeah. That sort of, that happens with my clients a lot. Oh, I've been seeing you showing up more, like that. That's how you're starting to develop traction. Yeah,
that's a good awareness, a good measuring stick for awareness.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for conversions, right? That means it's your phone ringing, right? You're booking more.
Yeah.
It's the toughest out of the funnel, right? If you look at the marketing funnel, where awareness, leads, conversions into customers, the very bottom, it's the toughest. It's going to be the fewest amount of people.
Yeah.
So it might not necessarily be the right place to start for a business to measure their marketing either. you might want to focus more on either awareness or just driving more leads in. Because if you're bringing leads in and they're not converting, then there might be something with the process or the service or the pricing or different things that you can troubleshoot.
That makes sense. Okay. Let's see.
Do you want to talk about low-cost tools for marketing? We talked a little bit about tools in the previous.
Yeah, we already kind of covered that one. We talked about that.
I can do a little bit of a dive into GBP, Google Business Profile.
The acronyms.
The acronyms, I know. I explained it right after. It's okay. That's best practices.
Go for it.
Google Business Profile, or GBP. I think that's one of the best ROIs because it's free, right? And it's the biggest search engine out there. So if you are a small business, that should be one of the first things you do, right after, I don't know, registering your business with Secretary of State.
Yeah, which please do that.
It's important.
Yeah.
You want to do that.
Yep, you do.
Doesn't cost much. $50 as of the year of our Lord 2025. $50, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, fair enough. So here's what you do. You're going to go set up your Google Business Profile. Just fill it out as much as you can. Add a little bit of paragraph describing your business. Obviously, enter your business name. Let me take a step back. You're going to go to business.google.com, and that's where you start filling this out. If your business has been around for a while, you'll claim a profile. You can start typing it out, and you'll see you might see an existing profile if Google has created one, and you can claim a created profile. But if not, just go in, start creating it, fill it out as much as you can, because that's going to be what people find when they go online. So enter your business name, a brief description, hours of operation. If you have a physical address that you operate out of that clients are coming to, add that in there. I know for businesses that are remote, you still need to enter address, but you can ask for Google not to show that address, and it won't.
Yeah.
Right. So you can add that in there. It's just a little toggle. But if you fill that thing out and you're going to go through verification steps, it changes. Gosh, it changes so much. I was not verified. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
My business, when I went to create it, I didn't get verified. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a variety of clients that have had different verification task things come up. For me, when I set up my Google Business Profile, I have mine set to where it says that I am in the city of Atlanta. So when you look at my business, it shows the Atlanta perimeter as mine.
Service area.
Yes, that thing.
Yeah.
Those words. Yeah, no.
But do that and do the Facebook as well, right? And the more you populate that with info, add a photo in there if you can. That stuff all helps. Create a digital footprint, right?
Well,
give people something that they can find you for.
And you can link your socials to your Google Business Profile now.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
And if you don't, it'll try to link it for you, which is great.
Make sure you do things on purpose so things you don't mean to happen don't happen on accident.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. What about a budget-friendly marketing idea that business owners tend to overlook? And you are not allowed to say email.
I cannot say email. I guess I can't say GBP either.
No, because we've already went through this.
Because we already went through this. Okay, a budget-friendly idea. Do you have one?
Well, mine always comes into content marketing, but it's a long game.
Yeah.
Content marketing is a long game, but it is something that, like, my site's a good example of this. I wrote blog posts specifically for a target audience, and I incorporated on-page SEO. And now, 3 years after I published those blog posts, they are the primary driver of traffic to besides the name of my business.
I see them. I see them driving traffic.
Yeah. So it's like doing the content marketing and laying the groundwork it's definitely extremely because I spent $0 making all of that. So and it's still benefiting me. Like social media posts that I created for that same amount of time are no longer growing. They're no longer being seen, but those things are still benefiting me month over month, week over week.
So you use the currency you had, right? You're starting your business. You don't have the budget for things, but you got the time.
Exactly.
So if you have time, use it to develop content. Right. And that's a great tip. And I thought of one that I can give. It's not going to benefit everyone, but it'll have specific people who can benefit from this if they're consultants or do B2B, or if they work, or if they're a B2C business consumer, but they serve specific type of customers. Find a Facebook group on your topic, show up and be helpful.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's smart.
Go in, comment, provide support. I have a friend who does that. I've had a few friends who have done that actually, who just show up in a group, the closed Facebook group, and they just provide value. They're not selling. They're just providing value. They're sharing with people who they are and what they do. Mm-hmm. And someone asks a question, how do I do this? They always show up and answer. Well, guess what? After you answer that question a few times, all of a sudden the business owner goes, well, instead of me hitting my head up against the wall and doing this, why don't I just hire that person?
Yeah, that's fair. That's very real.
Yeah. That one's free. Liz, what do you tell people who worry that they're at disadvantage compared to their competitors because they have a small budget? They don't have the big bucks.
Oh man, I just had the sassiest thing pop in my head that I'm not going to say out loud. Well, so basically,
make more money.
No, that was not what it was going to be. But it's more along the lines of life's not fair. But but yeah, no, where I would, when people are worried about not being able to spend enough money, spend as much money, that's totally valid. Mm-hmm. You are not going to outspend Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Okay. You are not going to outspend Chick-fil-A. That's not a thing that's going to occur. But you can out-personalize them. Mm-hmm. You can out-relationship build them.
Yep.
So it comes down to, are you willing to invest the time into creating something that people care about? Like that's really, because like we don't, like a lot of us like those brands just to like those brands. Like we like Chick-fil-A sandwiches, and I literally am drinking a Coke right here. Like it's like, that's all fine. But especially when it comes to small and local businesses, you have other things in your arsenal besides money that you use until you have money.
Yeah.
And you build until you have money. Like that's just, I don't know. That's what I would typically tell people.
And I would say too that there are, just because there's larger companies that have a bigger budget and are spending the budget, spending in the same area that you are, doesn't mean that they're focusing on all the little cracks and all the little niches in there. One example that I can give is on the SEO realm. Mm-hmm. We were just looking at SEO. I've shared with you some of the results that I've had, right? Where I cannot outspend the big agencies in Atlanta. I cannot outspend the big agencies in Marietta, right? Where I live. But I can focus on a specific area or a specific niche. Mm-hmm. I can focus on web design in Roswell, Georgia. And I can rank for that because not a lot of people are doing that, because there's not a lot of volume, meaning not a lot of folks are searching for that, but enough are that my business can benefit from that, right? I don't need every business in Atlanta to hire me. I need just a few.
Yeah, that is the other thing, is there are enough customers who need to and want to buy things.
Yes.
And people value an experience where they feel like they're cared about. Some people deliberately will avoid the companies that have the bigger budgets because they feel like they're just a number, just a ticket, and you can work very hard to make sure that they don't feel that way.
Yes. And that is, and I mean, we talked about this before, knowing people who had the experience of saying, I'm going to hire the big agency because I want to have them, watching my back, and they get onboarded by, the senior account executive. And then when they start working, they're with like the summer intern.
Yeah.
Right. Why? Because they overextended themselves on a budget for a business of their size, but they're still a tiny fish for that agency.
Yeah.
Right. So they're getting relegated to the bottom of the bottom.
No, that makes sense. What about a story of a client that improved their results without spending a ton more money?
Improve the results without spending a ton more money.
I mean, I guess a ton more money is also relative.
Yeah. Sometimes there's sometimes you go from like no money being invested to spending some money and seeing the results.
Yeah.
Right. I'll share a story of a client who they were working with a provider who did a lot of different things for them marketing wise. And all of a sudden that provider decided that they were changing the way that they charged. And that would equal a bill that was like 10 times as high.
Oh, wow.
And so this was a platform that was offering marketing through the platform, and it just changed to, instead of being per business, being like per product or something like that.
Okay.
I forget the details what it was, but like they were now going to have to just go through a tenfold increase to get the same level that they were getting before. So they decided that was the time to make the move.
Okay.
Right. And they moved, and we were able to help them with the marketing. And they saw a 35% year over year raise. And that had to do with a few things. One, streamlining the content on the website.
Yeah.
Right. Making sure that, listen, if people are going somewhere because they want to spend their money, make it easy for them to do so. Make sure that you have clear call to actions. Make sure that you have a clear page structure. And if you're selling products, product structure with everything you want to know if you want to buy a product, right? You want to see pictures, you want to see a description. You might want like metrics and, the other details, reviews. Make sure that everything is there. Investing in email marketing as well. So, communicating to an audience they were not previously, optimizing, creating a marketing strategy to drive what is that year going to look like, right? Where we're going to focus when we start in January and where we're going to end up in December.
Yeah.
And then having we have a State of the Union at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year, just saying, hey, let's look back and see how did everything go? Yeah. Right. Before we restart this again and start fresh. What worked, what didn't, and where do we make money? Where do we lose money? And 35% year over year, that was big. Yeah, that's substantial. I don't know that it was the same amount that they were investing. I know that it was less than they would have been investing. I'm going to think that it wasn't too much more than they were already investing before. Gotcha. No, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, for me, I think jumping from, and this is just my company, not a client per se, but for my company, jumping from having the website that I did myself to the website that you did, there is actual traffic coming to my website now, and there are bookings almost daily at this point on my website. And that was something that, because of how my site was built, it wasn't able to do that before, because it did not rank as high, like from an SEO or just from like a functionality and speed perspective. Yeah. So I spent a couple $1,000. But that's one time. Yeah. And now we can make it multiple times if you'd like. I'm kidding.
That's a conversation for another day. Rebrand. But yeah, so that's what that is. And I also think adding that accessibility portion to it helped me with that. Like anecdotally, I feel like that did something for me as well. And so in that capacity, I think that I spent what is, in the grand scheme of things, a small amount of money. Yeah. And continue to see results even when I'm not doing stuff. Like I get bookings even when I'm not posting, because of when it shows up. Yeah, I mean, that's the ideal thing with marketing, right? You have it working behind the scenes, and when you start seeing things happening when you're not actively working on the business, right? When you're asleep, when you're out on a meeting, when you've taken a break from posting or other, like that's the magic of it. When you spend an entire day shooting podcast episodes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, then we've talked a lot about basically kind of bootstrapping and being very specific and strategic about how you spend your money when your money is small, and it being okay to start a little bit messy so that you can be more affordable to then build into it over time, right? That's kind of been the crux of this episode. Yeah. So let's do our wrap-up questions so that, if you've realized that we do this format where we do the wrap-up at the end and you skip to the end, what's one practical budget-friendly tip that people can implement right now for their business?
So I'm going to warp this a little bit because I have a tip that I want to give that has to do with marketing budget, and that is to think of a budget. Think of a budget for your business if you don't have one right now, but just think of what could you look at your books and consider what can you afford in terms of marketing spend, so that at least you have a starting point. You can do some research. You can ask ChatGPT what a reasonable budget is. You can, ask partners. You can go around, right?
Find a mentor and ask them.
Find a mentor, exactly. But create a budget so that before you get started with anything, you have an idea of what your ceiling is, and you can make decisions that are well informed when either finding the right tool or hiring the right contractor or agency to help you with something. So I warped that a little bit.
That's fine. I think that's honestly more helpful than the other, because we've already said the other things. So that's good. That's really helpful.
All right. And if listeners remember one thing about small budget marketing today, what would you want it to be?
Start messy. Don't wait till you can afford perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing for me is you have to start showing up to be able to afford to show up better.
Exactly. I like that. I cannot think of anything that anyone ever started doing perfectly.
No, absolutely not. That's
you got to
silly.
develop the muscle memory. You got to build up your skills. But if you don't start it, you're not going to get to that spot.
And then the last question is, how do our listeners know if they are spending their marketing budget wisely?
You can't know that if you're not tracking things. So track your results.
Yeah.
Track your views, track your visits, but most importantly, don't track just the numbers for numbers. Track them to your goals.
Yes.
Right. If your goal is to close more sales, and that is what you got to be tracking. Right? And if it's the bottom line, it's the bottom line. You'll know that one pretty easily.
Well, also, because I think sometimes we skip this step. Ask people how they found out about you.
Yes.
And ask people why they bought from you, why they decided to buy from you, because you don't want to make cuts or decisions on your marketing based on assumptions if you can help it. So things like if you have like a contact us form asking, how did you find out about us? Well, at least give you a loose idea. Or like when you have a discovery call or you have like a customer just saying like, hey, like you can just be super transparent. Hey, I'm trying to build out my business and I would love to know how you found out about us so I can do more of it. And most people would love to tell you that, especially if you're giving them a good experience.
Yeah. It's funny. I had there was a form that I built out for a client where we asked that. And it was it was not a drop down you typed in. And we actually had that question in there twice and worded in different ways because we found out that some people were interpreting one question one way and another different way. We're like, let's just ask both. And that worked. It was a longer form. But
it's just, you can ask. It's not weird to ask.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I think that wraps up.
That's it. That was episode number 9. So we're going to the double digits next. So stay tuned.
All right.
Till next time.